A day on the set that I'll never forget. That was when we were filming most of the Christmas and wedding sequences. We had unusual torrential rain, and it was very commendable on everybody's part that we were able to keep up the holiday cheer while we were filming because you couldn't even go outside. And we were in a fairly tight space, although it looks much bigger in the film. So I think it was 3 days of rain. Every day, my brother directed, every day I would call my brother before we come to the set and I'd say, do you think it's going to stop raining? He'd say, no, the weather report says more rain. And it was pretty much torrential rain, but you would not know it when you watch the film. So props to everybody.
One day that sticks out in my mind is the day we were eating the cake and Bruce had them go out and get cakes from Gelson's. Now, I've got the biggest sweet tooth in the entire world. So I was in freaking heaven that day. I was eating my cake. I was eating Bruce's cake. And then after we shot all those scenes, they were like, there's this extra cake. Give it to Peter. Peter will eat it. And I was just freaking chowing down on cake. I ate so much cake that day, and it was Gelson's cake. So I was like in heaven. So that's a day that sticks out in my mind.
Well, I was wondering where all the cake went. I wanted some too.
No, I know. Well, it was funny, like Brooke and Raphaella are just like, oh, like little birds. And I was just like, all right, I'll take that, you know. So that was really fun for me.
He does have a sweet tooth.
I do. Bruce, you remember your cake. You're not a big cake eater either. Bruce was like, do you want mine? And I was like, okay, I'll take it. They were like, oh, let's give it to the crew. I'm like, no, give it to Peter.
Yeah.
Day on the set that I'll never forget. For me, it's always the first day that's the most memorable, right? Because like you get on set and then you see all of these new faces and like meeting everyone, and everyone's just so excited. You have that energy. I remember going on to set, Paul, the director, he said, hey, I'm Paul, I'm the director. It's so great to meet you. And I was like, oh my God, this energy, it's so great. And you can see Paul's excitement on shooting. It was he took me over to his storyboard. He was like, yeah, so this is what I was thinking. I was going to shoot this and shoot it like that and then like that. And like you could see that sparkle in his eyes. And that really just set the tone for the rest of the days for me. And like meeting Brooke for the first time in person, that was so fun. We bonded like as soon as we saw each other in the green room. And yeah, I will never forget that ever.
I would have to agree with Darren on that. Like, I think meeting Darren and we were just like, hi, and he was like, hi, and we were like, ah. That was amazing. Going off that, I think my favorite, most memorable day on set would be the day that I got to try on all the wedding dresses and like having that moment where like everybody was like placed in their spots, and like I think I was just like the final person to be placed, and like walking out in my like final wedding dress and just like really feeling like a bride. It really kind of like got me into the mindset, and it was like a really awesome experience. And I never thought like I would actually be like trying on dresses before my actual wedding and like being in wedding dresses and having a wedding. So it was all over fun. So yes.
You really, really looked beautiful in that sequence. And even when we were filming it, I felt a little bit of an emotion there, even though I'm not actually a dad. It's one of my favorite sequences in the film, Brooke. You're just adorable.
Thank you. Same.
I also enjoyed the first day of filming too. And the one thing I remember the most is we were in where we were doing our hair and makeup. It was an apartment. It was the bridal shower scene. So that's where I first met Brooke, but Bruce and Rich, I mean, I can't I'm saying the actors and the characters' names. Bruce and Peter were there too, but yeah, just meeting everyone for the first time. But anyway, there was a bed where we had, I think the bridal gowns were on there too. But do you remember all those costumes? It was just like filled with costumes, and there was like no space. It was kind of small quarters, and there was a mirror above the bed. And we all took this picture where, you know, looking up at the mirror, and that was just the first day. And we all just like had like instant chemistry. And yeah, I was like, okay, well, it's the Valley. So I'm sure something else probably filmed here in this bedroom.
I
It was
forgot
just
about the
super
mirror.
fun from the get-go.
And we were all like, oh my God, I want to meet the person that lives here that has
I
this
know.
mirror.